everyone, it's Bernie here from Stampin'Up. Welcome back to my craft room today. I'm super excited to have you back here so that we can have a play together with some paper. In today's video, I'm going to be playing with the Planted Paradise stamp set. It is a reversible stamp set and I've never had one like this before, so I thought I'd better take it out and have a little bit of fun with it. So I hope that you are going to have some inspiration from what we do together. So let me take you down to my desk and let's craft together using the Planted Paradise stamp set. Let's go down. So welcome back to my desk, and this is what the Planted Paradise stamp set looks like. It is a photopolymer stamp set, and it has these incredible stamps on them of different sizes of pots and leaves that match. And I want to just explain how this whole process works. So on the one side of the stamp, you will feel that there is some texture, and on the back of the same stamp, it is a flat surface. And the idea is that you can interchange them and you can turn them around to create some background, or you can just use them on the side that's got the details. So it's pretty cool. The one thing you do just need to know about the stamp set is that it doesn't have any matching dies or any punches that match it. So your images are either going to need to be stamped directly onto your cardstock, or if you want to cut them out, you will need to fussy cut them. Let me show you what I'm going to be doing. So this is the card that I have come up with, and this design was inspired by one of my fellow demonstrator colleagues, and her name is Justine, and she made a card featuring the Be Mine bundle on our recent retreat we went on to. So the inspiration for the design has come from Justine, and hang around to the end and I will show you what that card looked like. So when you open it like this, you get this beautiful paper. I think it's a really good design to show off very, very pretty designer series paper. And if you like the paper that I've used for this, it is from the Softly Stippled Celebration 2024 paper. So what do you need for this card? Well, pretty straightforward. You need a normal card base, and in this case I'm using wild wheat, and your usual scoring lines, and then on the front you need to create an extra score at 1 1/4 inch just to create that little bit of a flap and a fun fold there. Then you're going to need to have 2 pieces of designer series paper of your choice that work well with your card base that match over there, and they are 5 3/4 inch long by 2 3/4 inch wide. Then you're going to need to have 2 narrow pieces of cardstock, designer series paper. They are also 5 3/4 long, 1 1/8 inch. So you'll need 2 pieces of that. Then you'll need a piece of basic white cardstock, also 5 3/4 long and 2 5/8 wide. You will need some white scrap for the circle and the same paper cardstock scrap for the matching cardstock as you did for your base. Okay, so let's do some gluing first. That's the easiest, and then we can get to the stamping. So I'm just going to glue down my front piece over here, making sure that all the pieces, that there's some good margins around it. Hold it down flat and just give it an extra burnish, and then put your contrasting designer series paper on the front. The narrow strip goes like so. Inside we're going with the matching one from the front, and then on that side we're going to leave the white for now because we're going to do the stamping on it. We'll just come in and do that piece there. And that is all the gluing for now. So you can just set that base to the side while we concentrate on the stamping. So the first bit we're going to stamp is the inner panel. It just is a lot easier. And I thought it would be a good idea to actually bring in the Earthen Textures cling stamp set, because it had that same feel to it, sort of the whole pots, just so that you are aware of my colors that I'm working with today. It's Copper Clay, Wild Wheat, and Pool Party. So I'm going to take my Wild Wheat and the H block. Actually, I want to do my thank you first. So let's just do the thank you first. The thank you is also coming from Earthen Textures. So thank you is coming at the bottom. And now I can bring in my wheat. And I'm just going to come off just over it with a bit of second generation. Now that I've done the inking for that one, I can actually glue that inside, and then we can concentrate on building up that front piece. Fantastic. For this front piece, you are going to need to cut out a piece of matching cardstock out of Wild Wheat. I used the Decal Circle die for that, and you're going to need to emboss it. And I'm going to emboss it using the Basics 3D embossing folder that is an online exclusive. So let me go and just do the embossing of that, and then I will come back. So I've now put my circle through the Basics 3D folder, and it's got a gorgeous texture to it. I don't know if you can see that at all, but it's got a really good texture to it, and that's going to form the background interest over here. Alright, so we can set that to the side. We're going to do some stamping now, and for this I need a soft mat because it's photopolymer stamps. So the first thing we're going to do is create this little chain in the middle, and all of these stamps are in the Planted Paradise. So I'm using Copper Clay for my little rope. I'm first going to put a circle as if it was the ring, and then I'm going to do the rope. And now I'm actually going to stamp the pot in Pool Party, and I'm just going to create a little mask for myself so that I know where I want to put my flowers. So we're not really going to use that mask, because what I've done is I've fussy cut this one out, and that one will go on top. But we first have to stamp some flowers or leaves, and the leaves I'm using are going to be in Wild Wheat. Using my mask, I'm going to stamp a leaf and off, and I'm coming again and just off, and one more, and I'm going to go lighter there, and lighter there, just to create some interest. Okay, now I can come in with that mask, and I'm going to pop that up on a dimensional, making sure I cover where I stamped so that I don't have to see it. Covering that up nicely. Now, what I want to do is I want to put a little bit of twine in there. So with my piercing mat underneath me, I'm just using my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm creating a little bit of a hole, and I'm bringing through some of this one. It is the natural weave, and when you pull it apart you get this little bit that's left over, so it's quite handy actually to hold on to these and to use them as interesting pieces in your card. So I'm just using my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm bringing this through as if I was putting it through a tag. I love earthy textures on my cards. I just think it really does something unique. So just going to cut off a little bit of that so that when we position it on to the Wild Wheat, we can then play around with it. Okay, so we can glue just on the right hand side on the upside down piece, or the left hand side, right hand side of the piece looking at you. So what you're aiming to do here is you want a little bit of that card sticking out, but not too much, if that makes sense. So I like to just position it here and get an idea of what that's going to look like. Excellent. So a couple of things we need to do now. We need to add some dimensionals so that when you open it, only that section's opening. And I find it's much easier just to add them straight on to the part where I want that to be stuck, rather than messing around trying to figure that out. And I'm placing that. I'm looking to make sure the distance from the top and the bottom looks good, looking to make sure that my pot is more or less on the seam so that when I open it, it just feels balanced. Now I want to just secure that little, you don't have to do this part, but I just want to secure that little piece of twine, and I'm going to do that by using a glue dot. And I'm just going to place my glue dot under there so that I know that will stay in place. And then the last thing we need to do is just add some embellishments, and I'm using the adhesive back cork. I've been loving using these. And lastly, a little one over here. And there we have this lovely fun fold. Isn't that gorgeous? I just think it's such a pretty way of featuring this paper, doing something exciting with the reversible stamps. So let me show you the card that inspired this design that I did, and this is the one that Justine made and that we did on retreat. So it's got little vellum wings. We did the little bee, we colored his body in wing castella, and we put some flowers in there, and that's all come from the Bee Mind Suite. So whether you're going with pinkies or whether you're going with some more earthy colors, they all work with the same little fun fold. So I hope this has inspired you to give this design a try, and it really highlights your designer series paper and shows it up very, very well. So it's a fun card to use your papers. So thank you so much for crafting with me. I've had heaps of fun making this with you, and I really look forward to seeing you again back in my craft room. If you have liked the designs that I have done with you today, please make sure that you're subscribing to my YouTube channel. Make sure that you click the bell so that you get notifications when I come on live and when I come on these recordings. And do make sure that you're also on my newsletter subscription list. All the details for that are in the drop down below. You just need to click the little arrow and you will find this sign up form there for you. There are lots of benefits to being part of my newsletter group, and I look forward to seeing you there. Remember, until we meet again, to stamp, to eat, to sleep, and repeat. Bye!